It is a privilege to be joined on the summit today by Delton Deal, who is the head men's basketball coach for the Nelson Lions. And, Coach, you have recently hit win number 300. As a matter of fact, a 76-69 victory over Wayland Baptist last weekend. I want to start there. I think that is the lead. Congratulations on win number 300.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really surreal to think about the fact that I've not only, I mean, it's not really the winning, it's just the fact that I've been able to be here this long. It's not, I didn't play in college or do anything like that. So I just started as a really young high school coach when I was 20 or 21 years old and somehow made it into the college ranks. And I can't believe that I'm doing what I'm doing and been blessed to have a lot of great players and great assistants to prop me up, help me to be what I am and what I've done. And, just blessed, thankful to the Lord for everything that, I'm able to have in my life right now.
Well, I appreciate the humility, Coach, but to get to win number 300, you have to do something. So I know that you were a big part of that. Eighth season now at Nelson, formerly known as Southwestern Assemblies of God University. I still may call it SAGU if I do, Coach. But bear
So
with me on
I
that.
might too. So
Okay. Trips to the NAIA tournament in the last 4 years, and it looks like that you all are heading that direction right now with a 17-6 record overall, 15-4 in Sooner Athletic Conference play, and that's currently at the top of the standings. So tell us a little bit about this year.
Yeah, this has been a great year so far. I've had a lot of really talented players and good teams. This is one of the most connected group of kids that I can remember having. Not just like I don't know that it's the most talented team I've ever had, and I think we are talented. But when I look at them, they really love to play. They love to play the game. They're excited every single game. I feel like they take each game equally important and pour themselves into each other, and then not only that, pour into each other. And so for me, with the way we are here, with our culture and who we are and what we're about, that's really the most important thing to me. So if we don't get the kids that fit exactly who we are, then we have a lot of struggle here. So for me, it's like, when you see you poured into it and we made some decisions and we're like, I think these are the ones that fit us, and it starts to, you start to see some results. It's really rewarding as a coach, and just, I love the fact that they're doing as good. We got a lot of basketball left and a lot of good teams still in the mix. So who knows how this thing plays out? But at the end of the day, I love our process and how we're going about it day by day. So whether we win or lose the rest of the way, I'm super proud of how this season's gone and who these kids are for sure.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about the careers as a whole, but let's stay right there with what you're talking about. These kids this year, a team again, 17-6 overall. CJ Hall leading the way for you
Sure.
statistically with better than 20 points per game, 79 assists. That's second on the team. And I know you've had a lot of good production from this year's team.
Yeah, CJ is a special kid. He's an All-American last year. If you look at his splits from last year, just incredible stuff he did. He averaged a few more points even last year, and just a great player. But as a senior, it's been awesome seeing his growth, not just as a player, but as a man. Like he's handling tough moments better, and he's doing, the team stuff and all these things. He's so much better, so much different of a person than he was last year. And his brother is the point guard on our team, Alaric. They're actually brothers, and so that's part of the reason that he came here, and it's been cool getting to see them do that together. We've added a player at semester, Micah Clark, who came in the middle of the season. He was here in the first semester but wasn't playing, so he started playing. He's really dynamic and has given a lot to our team. But like I said earlier, it's just a great group of kids. I think Justin Collins, and I want to give him specifically a shout out, even though I could do this for all my kids, but I think Justin Collins is probably the best team leader I've ever had in my career. So on a team, just as far as one person meshing with everybody, leading everybody, being consistent, not and doesn't care if he ever scores or anything. Like it's just straight team leadership, which again feeds into who it is that we are. And he's been phenomenal. And not only him, but all these guys. There's a lot of guys that are good players that are kind of making some mini sacrifices for the good of the team. And we love them. They're great kids.
We're visiting now with Coach Delton Deal from the Nelson Lions, who has just recently hit win number 300. Coach, talking about that, I mean, some 20-win seasons along the way. As a matter of fact, that has been the rule, not the exception in your time at Nelson, 20-win seasons. You look to be heading for another one right now, but I know it's more than that. And what do you see as an important factor in culture, not only to establish, but to maintain that kind of success?
Sure. So our our main motto that we do here is character plus competency equals consistency. So C3, I've kind of used it. I actually took it from someone that came to speak when I was at York College in Nebraska.
Mhm.
Somebody came and spoke, and I it really resonated with me and who I want to be. So what we say is your character, how you handle yourself daily, going about your business. Do you look people in the eyes? Do you treat people with respect? Are you treating women with respect, to your peers or your teammates or your teachers, or all these things? And then obviously your relationship with Christ, which is a huge part of who we are here. So all those things, I believe that if you've got that at a high level and your competency at a high level, then that's when you start to see long-term consistent success. Not just like it's really easy to be good for a little bit or a season or even a month or a couple games, but we are really honestly trying to help these kids sustain. Last night in our devotion, one of our players talked about growing your foundation right now, and how as you hit these hard parts or difficult parts in the season or after the season or in your life, building your foundation and firming it up. So we are talking about having that character. So when we recruit, our school is unashamedly Christ-centered. It's who we are. There's a lot of schools that are Christ-centered, but kind of are, like, we are, like, for real about it. So to come to our school, it's unique. We've got chapel and curfews and rules, and not that we're beating you over the head with it, but we are striving. Our pastor or our president will say, our school is a boot camp, for Christians. So a
Mhm.
place where we come to try to grow you and put you deeper in your faith. So when we're getting kids, it doesn't mean everybody's, going to be a pastor or anything like that. But, I love kids that love to have conversation. I love kids who are open, who are wanting to grow. So when I'm recruiting you, if I can't have this, you can tell I'm a talker. I talk a lot, but when we're having these conversations and I can talk to you and it's a back and forth and I can see you wanting to grow, that's the type of kid that usually does pretty good here. So we get those kids here, we put them in this environment, we really try to teach them to love on each other. And if you ever hear an interview with me or my players, because I say it so much, one of my things is just to play with joy constantly, to be joyful, because this is supposed to be a celebration of all the hard work you're doing. When you play these games, should be a celebration. So if we can get the kids to play to that, that way and together that way, then I feel like it gives us the best chance to win. You play hard, you play free, you're not tied up in your mind, and then you
Yeah.
just the result is the result. If you play hard and you do your best and you don't win the game, then you can at least, I know that's cliche, but you can at least really feel proud of yourself when it's over.
Coach, I agreed with everything you said, and whether it seemed cliche or not, I think that's absolutely great, and I think that there's something to be said also for joy, because the joy of the Lord is your strength. So why not play with joy?
Exactly
It's
right.
going to help you be even that much more strong while you're playing.
Exactly right.
I know
Exactly
that
right.
you don't have a lot of time to look back, which, by the way, joining us from McPherson, Kansas, you're on the road right now. I mean, you're not even
We
there at
are.
home at Waxahachie. So thanks for taking time with us and
No
in all
problem.
of that. But looking back just for a little bit, just give us just a minute or so. Is there anything that stands out and you can say, man, this was a highlight of coaching. This was one of the higher points. This was just a favorite memory. Is there something that
Sure.
stands out to you along those lines?
Yeah, I've got a few. One that particularly the very first time we ever made the national tournament when I was in at York College, um, was a big moment for me. I thought that was pretty cool. My assistants were former players of mine, which they still are now. It's kind of cool. It just keeps going like that. I think that's relational atmosphere. But we're very, very close. And he's Tree, who's currently the head coach at York. We were together, and we just overcame this long struggle. I'd been there for like 4 years, and you know I'm trying to figure it out. I'm young, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just trying stuff and trying to figure things out. And we finally get over the hump and go in. The first time, it was in Branson at the time. That's a real core memory for me. There, it's just that first moment of kind of doing that, and then seeing the confidence that built within our kids and our program, and then making it down here. I would probably say to Sagu at the time, Nelson now, but God has done some crazy things for me. And if you look back at my if at my coaching career and the path that it went, it's weird how things happen. So the door was just crazy opened up to me right whenever I had finally decided that I was going to stop trying to do everything by myself. It's like God just opened this door. And I'm from DFW. I grew up in Fort Worth.
Mhm.
So that going full circle and being like, man, there's only a few coaching college jobs in DFW. So,
Mhm.
to be away and to leave to go to Nebraska and step out in faith for $12,000 with a wife and two kids to go to Nebraska as an assistant, and then let that turn into a head coaching job, and then for that somehow to miraculously kind of open up to be down here. Those things have just really shaped my life. And, I feel like when I'm in alignment with what I was supposed to be doing, I feel like there's been blessing on the things that I'm doing. And so that doesn't mean winning, just joy, and being happy and pouring into these kids' lives. So, I got a lot of moments. I've got a lot of funny moments and some sad moments. I'll give you one more before we leave. Um, a few years ago, I had a kid. His name's Nicholas Mason. One of the best NAI players I've ever seen in my life. Just incredible player. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And we're at the end of our season, and he tears his ACL, right like our second to last game of the regular season. And so we're like top 10 in the country. I mean, unanimous conference player of the year, awesome player. We didn't even win the league, just a great player. And so he tears his knee, and everybody's crying in the locker room, and it's kind of a surreal moment because this is Superman guy at the time, and our team was crying, and he walks in and just says, guys, I don't know why y'all are crying. It's just now one of y'all are just going to get a chance to do something, one of those,
Mhm.
super selfless moments. And our team, man, they came together, and we ended up going to the conference tournament. We won the conference tournament without him. We played better than we've ever played. We were beating everybody by all these points. And it was just kind of like, all those things I was telling you we try to base our program on. It was almost like it all came to fruition. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
that was the COVID year. So we didn't get to play in the national tournament. But man, that was a really cool moment, just in the midst of losing the guy who had really, carried it. He's the one, I mean, if you ever go back and watch a Nick Mason highlight, scores like every single time he touches it in the last 3 minutes of a game. So it's like, we're in these winning times, and without him, and the way the team came together and the bond, and two of my assistants right now were on that team and changed their life. And I just, man, that was a cool moment for me. So those are some of the ones that stick out. I've got a ton and too many players to name, but very blessed and thankful for what's gone on in my career.
Well, that just means we have to have you back on the channel, Coach. So you
Anytime.
you have you have more time to get to talk about those things, and the blessings in and out, all of them. Well, all right, then, being on the road right now, game time coming up a little bit later on today. You are at Central Christian tonight, and then the road swing on the north part of the Sooner Athletic Conference. You'd be taking on Langston at Langston on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about this weekend.
Yeah, very difficult road game with great coaches and great teams. So par for the course in the Sooner, it feels like. But no, I've been Central Christian was in my conference when I was at York. So I've been to this place a
Mhm.
million times. Coach Romero and I are extremely close. I love him. Like to celebrate his kids. He's doing the same for some of my girls sing, and he's, the relationship we have is pretty cool. So it's cool being up here to play them. Very difficult challenge. This is one of the harder places to play, in my opinion, in our league. Very good team with, they have a really dynamic score and a bunch of upperclassmen. They've had a lot of these guys together for a long time, so it's a tall task. And then, tonight, hopefully we play well, and then after that, we go to Langston, which is, Chris Wright's one of the best coaches in the country. He's done nothing but dominate everywhere every year. And they have a great team again, and they're going to be ready for us, and we're excited for the challenge. And it's our last road trip of the year, so we're looking forward to this with our seniors and getting to spend this time with them, but then also, hopefully staying locked into the task at hand and try to finish the season out strong.
Yeah, five more games for the Lions. These two on the road, then the remaining three there in Waxahachie, and then the Sooner Athletic Conference, for which we know you will be a part, as the Lions have already secured a berth to the conference tournament. Coach Delton Deal, who has won his 300th game career as a coach and looking to get 301 this weekend if you can. Success to you, Coach. I know it's a tough road trip, but I'm excited hearing about what is going on there at Nelson and getting the chance to visit with you and learning more about your program and your time as a coach. Thank you, sir, for taking time with us today here on Midwest Sportsnet. We appreciate it. We'll continue to follow you all throughout the remainder of this season.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a blessing. So I'm excited to be here, and thankful for all you're doing, for all this, putting these, these videos are important for the coaching community and for everybody, just kind of to get to celebrate some people. So lucky that I got to be a part of it today. Thank you.